What's up, YouTube? This is Shuttle Boy, and I'm back with yet another video. Today's video, we're going to be talking about round 2 of the LeBron Sneakers Vote Back campaign that Nike Sneakers has been doing here. We talked about round 1 already, and if you haven't seen that video, please go check that out because I thought that was a lot of fun to talk about. It's always really fun to talk about retro LeBrons and stuff. Because that just doesn't happen all that often. It's pretty special, and I think people that grew up around the same age as me or same time as me have the same affinity for retro LeBrons like me. So without further ado, we're going to talk about the results of the last round, and then we're going to be talking about what I voted for and how the vote is looking right now and what I expect going forward. So let's sum up each one here. We're going to go from the top here. So as we can see, the Animal LeBron 2 ended up winning, which is just such a shame because, come on, guys, if you really care about LeBron history and stuff, he beat Michael Jordan in that shoe. Like, man. And it's a reference to Michael Jordan perfectly. I just love that shoe so much. And don't get me wrong, I think this 2 looks awesome, but there's just no history to this shoe. Then another one that really hurt my heart was the Stewie 6 getting paired up with the Watch the Thrones. Don't get me wrong, Watch the Thrones are one of the best LeBrons out there, but the Stewie 6, that is as well. And for me personally, I have always wanted the Stewie 6 so much. So that one really hurt a ton as well. Then we got the LeBron 3 that actually beat out the South Beach 15. This was a shocker to me, to be honest, because I don't really understand who loves LeBron 3s like that and why. There's actually a pretty good following on the LeBron 15, and since it's the South Beach, I thought that was a lock. I really just don't understand how that happened, especially when we look over here, and the LeBron 3 didn't win against the Air Zoom generation, which I think the Air Zoom generation out of these 3 models we're talking about here is the best model of them all. But gosh, that is just so odd. I don't really understand that, especially because this one is the better colorway of the 2 LeBron 3s. But pretty weird how that worked out. Then we got to go down here, and this one shocked a lot of people, and it shocks me, but at the same time, the more I think about it, the more it makes sense to me. So we have the LeBron 11 that actually beat out the LeBron 7 here. Now, this LeBron 7, the Hardwood Classic, is like one of those shoes that is just, everybody loved it back in the day, seeing him wear it, and it's one that everybody's always wanted to release. But apparently not as much as a LeBron 11 Retro. Now, I don't think people are thinking about this in the wrong light. Nobody has a big affinity for the Fairfax PE. That is not what's selling this. What's selling this is a retro of the LeBron 11. Now, LeBron 11 isn't necessarily looked back all that well in the legacy standpoint of LeBron shoes, but we're on to the 18 now, so we're 7 years away from when the LeBron 11 released. Like, those people have grown up and become adults now from when those shoes came out. So there's a lot of fans of that shoe that they either had a pair when they were a kid, which is kind of what happened with me, or they saw them when they were a kid and they didn't have the money now, but now they're a little bit older so they can afford to get a pair now. So that's where I see it, especially because we just got a ton of LeBron 7 retros recently. I think this makes a lot of sense, honestly, the more I think about it. And I'm all here for it, honestly, because, yeah, I'm tired of seeing the 7s. I love the 7s, but we don't need more 7 retros when we have so many other models going on in this tournament. I would love to see a new model come out, not something we already seen recently. And the LeBron 11's awesome, man. I have so many memories with that shoe, but I'm not going to go too much into that right now. The next one, pretty bit much a no-brainer here. I think you had to be crazy if you thought that the LeBron 10 was going to lose to a pretty nameless LeBron 4 colorway. Then this one was a little shocking. LeBron 8, which was a Heat PE, past the Air Zoom generation that was a Lakers colorway. Honestly, like at first I didn't really like that, but the more I think about it, I'm like, good for that shoe because I mean, the Air Zoom generation in that colorway, he didn't wear it in a game or anything. There's no significance to that one, while the other one has some significance, being he wore it in games and stuff. So good for that. And then we have the what the that eked out another LeBron 7, which is a cool LeBron 7, but I mean it's the what the LeBron 9, guys. Like who are we talking about here? Now, let's go over each shoe and what they're up against. I'm going to say what I voted for, and then we're going to see what the poll is looking like right now as I am filming this. First one, we're going to do the Watch the Throne and the Animal LeBron 2 here. I easily voted for the Watch the Throne on this one. Honestly, I think I'm pulling for whatever shoe out of this wins was basically going to be the one that's going to make it to the end for me on this side. And yeah, it's just such a iconic shoe. Not as iconic to me as the Stewies, but I mean, I gotta vote for this one then all the way to the end now. So that was pretty obvious, and it seems the polls have pretty much confirmed that as well. It was close at one point when I checked, but right now we have 59% on the Watch the Thrones right now, 41 for the Animals, and that's about 500,000 votes right there. So that looks like that's all but a lock. But it could still eke it out if people really wanted to, but I don't see that happening. Then the next one here, LeBron 3 versus Air Zoom Generation. I really do not care at all about this LeBron 3. It's probably the one shoe I care the least about out of all the shoes on this thing from the original voting. So easily, I love the Air Zoom Generation, and it's for the Rookie of the Year, which is awesome. So I voted Air Zoom Generation, but it seems like this one's going to be a close one here. Right now, the LeBron 3 Glow is actually winning by 2% with a little bit under 500,000 votes as well. We got 16 hours left as I'm filming this, so it might end up winning, but we'll have to see about that. But yeah, that's gonna be interesting how that pans out. I would way rather we get the Air Zoom generation, and I'll be honest, it's not the most exciting Air Zoom generation. For collectors, it is. But I'm shocked that this beat a Lakers colorway in the first place. So I wouldn't be shocked if this 3 beats it, just because it's an all white shoe. So there's not a lot of characteristic to that, and not everybody loves all white shoes. So now we're going down to this one here with the ring ceremony and the LeBron 11. This one's very interesting. I ended up voting for the ring ceremony because although I have a huge nostalgia for the 11, I also have a huge nostalgia for the 10. I never owned a pair of 10s, but I remember when those came out, how crazy it was that they flipped the swoosh backwards. It was so awesome seeing them wear them in the Olympics and stuff. And that was just a huge deal shoe. I always wanted a pair, never got a pair. So when the 11s came out, I was sure to get a pair for my birthday then. But yeah, I never got a pair of 10s. And to be the ring ceremonies, this is the most significant shoe out of all the shoes on this list as far as moments for LeBron. So that's why I have to vote for that one. But I think the vote is actually a little bit closer than I would have expected. It was closer earlier in the day, but we have about 500,000 votes again, and it's 57% for the ring ceremony and 43 for the Fairfax. That could end up flipping, that's not that far off. But dang, I'm good for the LeBron 11. This really woke some people up and showed some people that the 11 is one that a lot of people like. And even if it loses this, which there's no way it could win the whole vote, I think this was really awesome, and I think LeBron 11 Retros will be on the way sooner than later now because of how this turned out. But let's move on to the last one here, which is going to be the What The and this Heat PE LeBron 8. I voted for the What The. I just love the LeBron 9 and the What The's that never came out. This is a huge deal here. But the voting says here pretty much what I expected, but not at the same time. Same amount of votes again. We got 45% on the LeBron 8 and then 55 on the LeBron 9. I would have thought the LeBron 9 would have been closer to 60 than that. But I mean, it's whatever. I mean, this one did eke out the Air Zoom generation by a pretty good amount, if I remember. So I guess there's a lot more fans of this 8 than we really expected. But that all being said, guys, I said what I voted for. What I'm expecting to happen now, or to go down here, I still really think that it's going to be ring ceremony, and then it's going to be the what the here. Maybe the Fairfax actually beats that one out, but I don't think so. But then we're going to have those against each other. I gotta say, if I'm just looking at the percentages here, I gotta say the 10's probably gonna get to the end here. Then over here, I think the 9 is this is gonna just be a easy trip to the finals for the 9 here. And then yeah, it's really the same thing I was expecting. I think it's gonna be that 9 versus this 10. But it'll be interesting to see how this bottom part plays out exactly, because I don't think this bottom is really a lock, but I think the top here is pretty much all but confirmed what's going on there. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. If I had to guess, we're getting the Watch the Throne LeBron 9s if I'm picking one of these shoes here. And that's okay. I would love to see the 10 out of all the shoes here. But I love LeBron 9s a ton too. It's probably my favorite LeBron model of all time. So, I mean, I'll take it. But very interesting to see how all this voting is going out. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. So please share those thoughts down below. If you voted, what did you vote for? Did you vote for the same things as me? Or what do you expect? Or any crazy opinions or reactions to how this voting went down? There were a lot of surprises to a lot of people here, but I think if you think about it a little bit more, rather than just thinking about shoes that were worth a lot of money, or to hardcore fans, think about it in a more mainstream mentality. It makes a little bit more sense. At least for some. I still don't understand how that 3 made it there. But that's pretty much going to conclude the video, guys. Please hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe if you haven't already for more golf wing, more sneakers, more clothing, and more Shuttle Boy. And this is Shuttle Boy, guys, and I'm out, guys. Peace.